Okay, everyone, we're going to get started here in about 5 minutes. We're just waiting for some people to join, so give us a couple minutes here. Okay, everyone, we're going to get started here. So, first of all, I'd like to apologize for all the technical difficulties. We've had a couple issues with Hangout on Airs, but hopefully we've got people joining us. It looks like we've got about 25 people viewing. If you have questions throughout this presentation, please go ahead and ask them via the stream in Google Plus on the Better Cloud page. The idea today is I'd like to, this is the second FlashPanel live event that we've held, and the plan is to review some information that we went through in our Google Apps survey that we conducted a couple months ago. Talk about some of the new features that we recently released in version 1.7, version 1.8 of FlashPanel. Talk about what's coming next in FlashPanel, and talk about some pricing questions, which have been coming up quite a bit recently as more and more customers move to FlashPanel to manage Google Apps. We've had some more questions come up about what the pricing plans are, when we're going to release those plans. So I wanted to talk about those as well. So, again, bear with us today with this Hangout on Air. We're working through some of these technical difficulties, so hopefully everyone's able to watch and join in. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and ask them in the stream. So first of all, we conducted a survey of all of our customers, about 12,000 domains. We did that in October. And we got some really interesting information about the general Google Apps ecosystem, the Google Apps market. And I wanted to share some of that with you today because it really frames our long-term vision. The reason for doing the survey was really to find out how people were using FlashPanel, if they liked FlashPanel, which features were their favorite features. And in that, we found some really interesting information, and we wanted to share that with you today. So starting off, what you can see from this chart here is that the yellow represents customers with more than 500 seats, more than 500 users. You can see that that represents a really small portion of the total domains that have installed FlashPanel. But that from a seats perspective, it actually represents a pretty large percentage of our customer base. And what this, to me, this said a couple of things. Number one, Google is a product that's being used by enterprises, and the average size of the 500 plus domains came in at around 2,000, 2,500 seats. So we're talking about very sizable enterprises that are making the move to Google Apps. And along with that, we see that our product, FlashPanel specifically, is really relevant to that customer base. And I think that's what this data shows. Google obviously has won big in the SMB space, and they're going to continue to win big in the SMB space. But from an enterprise perspective, the large enterprise customers are seeing huge value in a cloud management tool like FlashPanel, and it helps them in their adoption of Google Apps. Another piece of information that was we knew we would find most of this. This was the data we thought we'd find here, but when we asked what email system were people using prior to Google Apps, obviously Exchange was the overwhelming majority, and that's where people were coming from, customers were coming from. But you can actually see that in the large enterprises, Lotus Notes was actually pretty popular, and there's been a big move from Lotus over to Google Apps, and I think this represents some big opportunity for the channel partners of Google out there who are helping with the migration from these legacy mail systems over to Google. Customers that have been on Lotus Notes, I think, are used to having other applications integrated into their mail systems, and the Google Apps Marketplace and the vendors that are in the marketplace provide the opportunity to do that. And so we see part of the opportunity generally as companies move to Google is not just the messaging, the collaboration, but actually the surrounding applications around the Google Apps suite. And I think right now in the marketplace, in the Google Apps Marketplace, there's somewhere around 600 or 700 applications. So I think the opportunity is big to actually build around this suite, this platform. The next piece of information is around the Google Apps survey. That we found was the customers that are using resellers or Google Apps partners to go Google. So what you can see here is that most of the larger companies, again 500 more employees, they over 70% are actually working with Google Apps resellers, and I think as your migration becomes more complex, as you have more legacy data, as there's more to risk, honestly, in the migration process, the resellers become a more key piece of that process. And it's really not just the initial migration, but I think that the opportunity for resellers and for customers that have worked with resellers is to take it to the next level and to adopt more pieces of the suite. Are you using Drive? Do you know the best way to roll out Drive? Are people still are they using Docs or are they using Microsoft Word? Resellers are the experts. They're the ones in this space that we work very closely with them, obviously. But I think that for customers, it's past just the migration. I think we're getting to that point now in the kind of maturity of this ecosystem where resellers can play a bigger role in the adoption of the entire suite and help to plan out maybe a 1-year, 2-year plan for how do you get your enterprise 100% in the cloud, with Google being the center of that. So when we talk to this slide more represents information around FlashPanel, about FlashPanel usage. And what you see here is if you look at the first two items and you stack them on top of each other, we've got about 40% of our customers using the product every week. And again, when you drill into this and you start asking customers, what is this for, we find that many users, many admins are using the product for some pretty repetitive tasks, which we've taken that into consideration as we continue to add functionality. We want to automate a lot of those tasks. So it seems like people are coming into the application to take a specific action over and over and over again, multiple times a week, a month. And so we're continuing to look at our roadmap and trying to ensure that we add functionality that actually, we love that people are coming into the application using it, but we want to automate a lot of these tasks for our customers. So that's one of the things that we're looking at doing, and obviously continuing to add functionality across the suite. So let me stay on this slide for a moment. When part of the survey was asking our customers, what is it that you want to see us add? And the #1 feature request that we got by far was bulk editing of users, bulk editing of user information, of user status. We heard that over and over and over again. And again, when you think about our demographics, these larger customers who are 500, 1,000 users, even in the 200 user range, and you think about some of the challenges that the IT team faces on a day-to-day basis, part of the challenge is how do we handle all these hundreds of users and make changes to them quickly and in bulk and efficiently? So that was the number one request. And again, we've heard that since we really launched the product. And so what we did is we came out with a feature, bulk update users. And just for those of you who are FlashPanel users, the way that you get to this feature is not too obvious. Which is unfortunate, but the way you get to this feature is you log into the application, you click on the users, you either click on the directory tab and then users, or you click on users directly from the homepage dashboard, the number of users you have. It'll bring you to a user grid. There's a little icon of a gear, and underneath that gear icon, when you click on that, you'll see a bulk edit feature. What bulk edit's going to do is, we felt like the way to give power users the most control was to actually export users into a spreadsheet. So once you click on that bulk edit feature, you'll have the opportunity here. You'll see a button that will say export users to spreadsheet. You'll export the users to a spreadsheet, and then you can actually take action within that spreadsheet. You can do find replace. You can choose an OU and change. Let's say you want to change a bunch of users. They're moving from the sales group to the marketing group, or they're moving from the New York office to the Chicago office. You can actually do those changes in bulk within a Google spreadsheet. You click the button, you click the update button, and once you click the update button, then all those changes that you made in the spreadsheet will be reflected in Google Apps and in FlashPanel immediately. This feature, again, is probably, well, it was the number one requested feature, and it's probably the most powerful feature we've exposed for Google Apps administrators. You can suspend users in bulk. You can change passwords in bulk. You can take any action in bulk. And we're going to be extending this to the group management functionality. So you're actually going to be able to do bulk management through a Google spreadsheet of groups. So that's something that's coming very shortly. But again, this has been very popular. The product, the bulk edit, has been out for about a month now, and we've had some really good feedback. The number one request that we had from administrators when it came to their end users. So we asked the question, what feature would you like us to introduce for your end users, the actual users on your domain? And the number one request was end user training. And we understand that. You know, you're coming from Microsoft Exchange, Outlook users, Lotus Notes. Your end users, they may know how to use certain functionality. They may know how to compose an email, create a calendar invite, but do they actually know how to use all of the features that Google makes available? And by the way, Google's adding new features every couple of weeks, every month. Do they know how to use those features? Do they know best practices for managing their calendar? So we have a site called Google Guru. You can see here, GOORU.com. And that site has about 180 videos around tips and tricks on how to use Google Apps. We are going to, based on the feedback we heard from you, from our Google Apps administrators, we're going to actually be creating a training tab within FlashPanel. So as many of you know, there's now an end user portal available for FlashPanel. And so we're actually going to be creating a training tab where we're going to embed videos from Google Guru that are curated in an easy to use, easy to navigate way, and make that available for the end users. So again, this is what we heard from the survey. This was the number one item that administrators wanted help with. This is what they thought was valuable. So we're going to be adding that into the product shortly. Now, Google Guru obviously already exists. You can send that link out to your users. But in order, my belief is that to make it easy for the administrator, it needs to be more curated for their users and based on level of knowledge of Google, based on what parts of the suite that your company is using. So we're going to be adding that shortly. So the next piece that came out in version 1.7 was the Google Drive sharing policies. So the ability to actually create sharing policies for a user, an OU, or everyone in your organization, how they can share documents. And so the sharing policies were introduced back in October, end of October, and the idea for now was that, or in version 1.7, the idea was that these sharing policies give you visibility into whether or not people are sharing within the policies you've created. So when someone shares outside of the policy you've created for them or their OU or the whole organization, then we would flag those documents, those assets, with violation flags so that you could look at those and see, okay, we've told our users about this particular policy and they're not following that policy. What happened is that in version 1.8, what we did, and version 1.8 came out early this week, on Monday of this week, what happened is we actually added the ability to set auto compliance and notifications around those sharing policies. So let me give you a very specific example. If you have an OU that is marketing, and marketing can share public, they can't share publicly with a link. They can share externally, but they can't share externally with your number one competitor.com or competitorxyz.com. They can't share with those domains. So you can set that policy. Now what we've done is if you set the policy for marketing around sharing documents, if that marketing person, if someone in the marketing OU shares a document with competitorxyz.com, which is outside of the policy that you've created, you can actually set here, you can see auto compliance. So you can remove the sharing with the competitor's domain. You can change the editors to viewers. You can change the doc owner. So we give you some granular control in terms of what you do once you automatically correct the sharing violations. And I actually think more importantly is we set up notifications so that you can notify the security officer, you can notify the OU, the VP of marketing, so maybe they're the managing the OU of marketing, and you can even notify the end users. And the value here is that when I talk to customers and we ask them, what are you looking for as it relates to Drive security and Drive management? Most organizations are in the early stages of rolling out Drive and rolling out docs. And what they want to do is they want to create a policy. This is a new type of collaboration. So the best practice that I would suggest, and what I've heard from many of our customers, is that number one, they want to create a policy. They want to say to everyone in the company or to specific divisions, this is how you should and should not be sharing documents. These are the types of documents you should and should not be sharing, and who should you be sharing with? And should they have edit rights? Should they only have view rights? All of that is something that you need to decide. It's on a business by business, each business is going to have their own rules. So once you do that, the next step is to tell your users, and what we've done in FlashPanel is we've given you the ability to audit that and to have the visibility into how those docs are being shared, and are people following your policies or are they not? The next step in the process for us is to actually set up notification. So once you've set that up as a super administrator and you can monitor it, the next step, in my opinion, is to set up notifications. So now you should start telling the managers, hey, this is who's sharing what with who, this is someone who may be sharing these documents outside of how they should be. Then you start notifying the end users every time they do that. So now the end user is saying, wow, I'm sharing outside of the policy that was created by my administrator. That's probably a problem. And so you start telling the end users. And then ultimately, you use our auto compliance tab to say after 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, now you have an understanding of how people are sharing. You've set your policies. You've gotten very granular with them. And you can actually turn on auto compliance. so that now you can, it's a set it and forget it kind of feature. You've done all the work up until that point. You set it to compliance mode, and now you can kind of leave it and let it be, and feel comfortable that documents are being shared in the way that you expect them to be shared. The other piece that we added in version 1.8, which came out earlier this week, is user provisioning. Both bulk user provisioning, which really was something that was requested as part of the bulk user edit. So we added that feature so that you can create Google users in bulk all at once. And the other one is a guided workflow for provisioning users, taking you through the best practices and all the steps that you would expect to set up a new user. This is similar to our deprovisioning workflow, which I think many of you know. Based on the survey results, we found that deprovisioning workflow is probably our most popular feature, maybe not most used, but it's probably our most popular feature. And so this provisioning workflow is something that's very similar. And so over time, what we're doing here is you can almost think about this as almost imaging for Google Apps settings. So if you think about bulk user edit, bulk user creation, you can actually take a user and all of their settings that you want to replicate, and you can go ahead and create 10 users with those same settings. So it's almost a way of imaging users' Gmail settings and Drive sharing capabilities, all with one click. So those were the features that we added as part of the most recent release. And what I want to say about this is that these are features that have been requested from very early on, and we know that these are big steps towards really making FlashPanel a full solution from beginning to end, from provisioning a user to setting their email settings to monitoring how they're using Google Apps to all the way through to the deprovisioning process and everything in between. So we now have that, and we now can provide that value to users that are using the product. So the next set here, what you see on your screen, these are the features that are coming up. As you know, and anyone who's attended the first FlashPanel Live, anyone who I've talked to, any customers, you know we're very open about our roadmap. We try to be as transparent as possible about what's coming next for a number of reasons. Number one is to make sure that we're constantly getting feedback. So we show you our roadmap, we tell you what's coming, and we love to get feedback from customers. Are you excited about what's coming down the pipe? Was there something else that you would have preferred to be ahead of what we're releasing? It's good to get that feedback from customers. And number two is that I think there are a lot of customers who use our product, who use it for some very specific feature, and I think that it's important for those administrators to have visibility into what's coming next, because I think and again, anyone who's been using our product since July when we first launched in the marketplace will see that we've added so much functionality over a very short period of time, and that momentum is important to us. And so for new customers that are using us for email signatures or deprovisioning users or setting filters and labels or delegating inboxes, anything like that should be aware that we are continuing to expand the suite very quickly. So what we did after the last, when we did our last survey, what we did is we actually did a feature contest. We opened up a page on our support site, support.bettercloud.com. We opened up a page there for idea submission, feature idea submission. And the top two features that were voted up by our customers, by our users, I think they had somewhere in the vicinity of 35, 40 votes each, were conditional formatting for email signatures. So basically an if-then type of a setup feature for email signatures, so that you can say if there's a mobile device, mobile phone number available on this user, then show the line mobile : phone number. If there's no mobile phone number in the directory information for a particular user. Just don't show the line at all, and bring the phone line up one more, or the email line up one more. So this was very important. And we understand that, you know, most people, the directory information isn't 100% complete, and so you don't like to have empty lines in your email signature. So the conditional formatting for email signatures will be coming in, we hope before the end of the year. I'm not going to promise you, but we are targeting right before Christmas for the conditional formatting, and that was the #1 feature request. The second feature request was around calendar delegation and resource and calendar resource management. So calendars is something that we obviously there's huge value in giving controls over to the administrators, letting administrators create resources, monitor those resources. So that's going to come early January. So that was the second most requested feature. And the next two, the Google Site Security and Management, you can imagine that with Google Drive, many organizations are also using Google Sites, whether it's for project sites or sites that are actually public-facing sites. So we are going to add the same visibility, control, filtering, management that you have for Google Drive and Google Docs. We're going to be adding sites into the product as well. So we hope for that to be done probably in January, February timeframe. That's been the customers that do use Google Sites. This is really high up on their list. In most cases, this is the #1 feature when looking at FlashPanel. So this was important to us. And the last one is something that that's important to me and to my team, is making it easier for our users to navigate the application. So you know, so it's important to us to improve that navigation and make it easier to discover all the tools. I think at this point we probably have somewhere close to 50 tools, 50 features in FlashPanel. To discover those 50 features is not the easiest thing in the world, and that's based on customer feedback, that's based on testing the interface, that's based on my own experience. And so what you're going to see early next year, probably by February, you're going to see a new top navigation for FlashPanel. You're going to see some additional. We're actually taking out the gear icon, which we've heard a lot of complaints about. So again, most of the administrators who are on today's Hangout, you're aware of the gear icon that we've used in a number of places around the application. We found that that's hiding functionality that you may not know about. So we're going to be removing that gear icon and bringing that functionality one level up. So we're going to be spending some time, and the reason to share this with you is that it's important for you to be aware that there probably is going to be a sprint somewhere in early January, mid-January, where we're not going to add too much new functionality per se, and instead try to expose the existing functionality in a better way. So I'm personally very excited for that. That's going to make a big difference, I think, in terms of the speed of which an administrator can navigate the application to take an action that they need to take. So here's an idea of the new navigation. So it's not huge changes, but I think that they're very impactful. So what you can see is we've changed the top part of the application. We've made it much shorter. We've taken up less space with the header. What you can see with our menu is you can actually scroll over the menu, and we'll have these flyouts right there. So now with tools, for example, you can scroll over. You'll be able to see all the email tools. I am sure that most of our customers do not know that we have a filter. You can set filters and labels for your users. I'm pretty positive most of our customers don't know that. Here in this navigation, you could easily scroll over tools, email tools, and at a glance see that we have signatures, delegates, monitoring, send as alias, labels, filters, forwarding. All of that is hidden today about 4 or 5 clicks down in the application. Behind the scenes, I'm sorry, not behind the scenes, behind this flyout, what you can see here is the user profile page. And that user profile page has changed a little bit from what you see today. And what we've done is we've moved to a tabbed layout. And we believe that the tabbed layout is actually going to help with the speed at which you can navigate and knowing exactly what you want to do. So if you want to edit the contact information, click into that tab. If you want to edit group membership, that'll be the first tab that you come to on a user page. Excuse me. So we're very excited about these new improvements to the navigation, and those are going to be coming out, like I said, sometime early next year. And I think it's not drastic. It's more just small improvements that'll make a big change. We're making some changes to the tools page as well. So once you actually get to the tools page, we're going to have all of our tools listed out where you can filter by user tools, email tools. This is still a rough draft of what this is going to look like, but we're going to actually put some more description right in front of you. You'll be able to see more tools on one page, scroll quicker, filter faster, and get to the tools that you're looking for. We've also made a change to the left-hand nav to make it faster to navigate for power users. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is around pricing. So we've had this question a number of times from our customers around how much is this product going to cost, when is it going to come out of beta, when will you start charging for it? And we've continued to push out that date. And what I wanted to say today to everyone is we will not charge for the product through Q1 of next year. So for those of you using the product today, I can promise you that you won't be paying for the product until probably April, maybe even a little later. But you can use the product for free, 100% for free. Everything from, again, user management, drive security, doesn't matter. Across the board, you can use the product for free through Q1. And we're still working on our pricing plans. Part of the reason that we continue to push out the day that we start charging is that we want to make sure that those plans are affordable. We want to make sure that those plans are that we've checked with customers, with the market, to make sure that it's fair, the pricing. So that's something we're still working on, and we're going to continue to work on, and we'll continue to keep you updated. Every time we do these FlashPanel Live events, we'll spend some time talking about pricing, and as soon as we get more detailed information, as soon as we have a clearer picture of what we're going to be charging, we will share that with you. So again, I wanted to share that information with you because I think that it's our value proposition to you as administrators, to resellers, is we're going to provide you. I think we've shown you, and we're going to continue to show you, that we're going to provide you one application that allows you to manage and secure your Google Apps domain across the board, the entire suite. Whether it's down the line, whether it's managing Android devices and Chromebooks, or whether today it's managing email filters, labels, and signatures, we're going to provide you with that product. And we want to make sure that the ultimate goal for us is to really make Google Apps even better for you, and allow you to adopt a larger portion of the suite. Many of you have started adopting Drive, but you're not really sure if your users are using it or not. You don't feel comfortable maybe with some of the visibility that you have, so we've provided that. And I think actually by providing it for free for now, it's giving a lot of organizations the opportunity to leverage that information and to make decisions about how to roll out certain parts of the Google Apps Suite to their user base. The other thing I wanted to share with you today is we've taken off the limits on the syncing. So if many of you know, we've got a directory sync feature. So right now you'll see in the application that it says that the directory sync can happen once a week. I wanted to let everyone know that we've taken that limitation off. Well, we've moved it to 5 days a week. So even though you'll see in the text that it says 1 day a week, I wanted you to know that you can go ahead and set it for 5 days a week. We'll be changing the text. We'll be changing some of where that's located, and we'll be defaulting to 3 or 4 times a week. So I just wanted to let everyone know that if you're using the application, go into the directory sync section, go to the scheduler, and change it to 5 days a week, and that'll be great. We're also going to be adding the ability for you to turn on and off email notifications on those syncs, so that you're not getting emails on every single day. So we've listened to that feedback. I've heard that feedback a number of times, and that was an easy change for us to make. So we've decided to do that. So So that's where we are. A couple things before I start taking questions. You know, if you ever have any feedback, if you ever have any features that you would like to see us add, if you just want to talk to me about what's our long-term vision for FlashPanel, I love talking to customers. My whole team does. So you can always reach out to me, Dave@bettercloud.com, and you know, we'll find a time to get on the phone. I can do a demo for you. My team can if you want, and you need a training for your team, let us know. We're happy to do that. We're really focused on having our customers enjoy the product, use it to its fullest extent, find all the functionality that's in there. We have a lot of functionality that many customers don't know about, and we would like to help them explore that. So we also put up a new website. Check out flashpanel.com. It's a brand new website. We put it up about a week and a half ago. Check out the resources section. We are listing all of our webinars there. We're going to be holding a webinar next week with some must-dos for Google Apps administrators using FlashPanel. So I would check that out. We put a lot of work into that. We put a lot of data on that site. You can really find all the features. If you go to the features page, flashpanel.com/features, we have the 50, 60 features that we have are all listed there. Easy to filter, easy to sort through. So please check out flashpanel.com. So I'm going to try to exit out of here without causing too much of a problem. Sorry about that. So let me let me pull up. Let me see the stream here and see if we've got any questions coming in. Okay. Sorry about this. Just making sure that. Okay. Okay. So I think we got a lot of. I think we had a number of people joining us. We did have some technical difficulties, so I'm really hoping that everyone was able to join today. And if not, then we're going to post this up on our YouTube channel. We'll post it up on our website, and we hope that we can that you can watch the replay of this. Again, let me just say that if you have any questions or you'd like to talk to me directly, you can email Dave@bettercloud.com, and we'd be happy to help any way that we can. And we hope that you're enjoying the product. If you're an existing customer and you have an opportunity, we'd love for you to leave us a review in the Google Apps Marketplace. Just go into the Marketplace. We're on the right side in the top installs. Click on that and leave us a review. We really appreciate that. That helps us a lot. If you're interested in doing a case study about how you use FlashPanel, we'd love that as well. Yeah, we're excited about what's coming. The next 3 to 4 months are going to be really important for us, and extending into calendars and sites, continuing down the security path with Drive. All of that it's really important, and I'm happy we're able to continue to provide this product for free to our customers, at least for the short term. And as soon as we have more information on pricing, we'll share it with you. And I promise everyone, all of our customers, that you'll have forewarning before you have to start paying for the product. We'll give you as much warning as we can, and make sure that you're prepared for that. So anyway, thank you very much for joining today. I really appreciate it, and hope you keep enjoying the product. Thank you.